Need insurance coverage that's built for speed? Frank Yea's office in South Charleston has your back. Whether you're blazing down the highway, protecting the home you've built, or setting up a legacy for your family, we've got the coverage you need. Auto, home, life, fast, simple, and made for you. Scan the QR code on your screen now to explore all our services and start a free quote today. Lock it in, save it for later, or call us at 304-744-7700 to get started.
Basket can't defend. He's got the outside line for the second part, and he can't hold on.
Going the long way around. We're going to be 3 wide for the lead as they all come to the line. Who is going to take it in the end?
And here comes Lockwood. He's going to make the move to the outside. Quinn tries to force it off a little bit, but there he goes. It's going to be side by side through turn 1.
Will he be able to cover him off? He does. Weaving back to the left-hand side. Reynolds is trying everything. The kitchen sink is being thrown at it.
They're leaning on each other. Coming into turn number 3. It's going to be a drag race through 3 and 4. Coming back to the line. Here comes Trish on the bottom.
Richard's going to hold the inside. Tries to be the late breaker here. They're going to be side by side through the final chicane. They bang doors, but keep it clean.
As they're still 4 wide on the run down into the back straightaway. Demerit's looking for a line as well. What is going on in Michigan?
Novak into the fence. They're still beating and banging. And to the line.
He is much faster coming through there. Is there damage on Challenger? Abramitis is ahead. There's going to be a race to the line. Who is going to get it?
One of America's newer racetracks, Iowa Speedway, is located in Newton, Iowa, and has been in operation since 2006. The 7/8 mile oval was designed and built under the auspice of NASCAR champion Rusty Wallace at a cost of approximately $70 million. The D-shaped oval is patterned after Richmond Raceway, the scene of some of Rusty's greatest successes during his career. Purchased by NASCAR in 2013, Iowa Speedway has a seating capacity of more than 30,000, together with a unique multi-tiered RV viewing area along its 869-foot backstretch. The track hosts the NASCAR O'Reilly Series, Craftsman Trucks, and ARCA Series events annually, along with IndyCar Series and Firestone Indy Lights races. And in 2024, the NASCAR Cup Series made its debut at the track, giving truth to the saying, "If you build it, they will come." Tonight, it's the ZeroX Strategy Series Hawkeye 150, and it's next on Track Limits Network. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the ZeroX Strategy Series Race 3, the Hawkeye 150. I'm Steve Singer with Track Limits Network, bringing you tonight's broadcast. Let's take a look at the race details as practice comes to a conclusion here. 66-degree ambient temperature, 78% humidity, partly cloudy skies, 15-mile-per-hour breeze. That's a little windy. Track temperature cooling now, 71 degrees Fahrenheit. Race distance tonight, 150 laps, a 65% load of fuel on board. 2 sets of tires available over the wall for changes. No fast repairs. Count them, 0, zip, zilch, and 1 attempt at a green-white checkered finish. Welcome again, everybody. Practice just about wrapped up here at the Speedway. Just under a minute and a half remain. Last week's winner, Brandon Moore, fast times so far. Enough practice for the 3 to this point with a 22.269, the fast lap. Jason Blaney's second quick. Jamie Dunning, Chris Stange, Tommy Janikowski, the top 5. Only 2 winners in the first 2 races this season already. We've got multiple winners. That's a plus. Never want to see anybody run away with it. So far, we've got some parity throughout the field. Again, just under a minute remains in this session. Before practice completes, want to thank the sponsors for jumping on board this season. Of course, ZeroX Media and Design, Admin Box, Snowbelt Industries, Youngblood Racing, and Fueled Up. All making this possible, partnering up with the series this year. Matt Sisler, 7th quick on the scoreboard here so far. Had a solid run going last week, and it all went away in the latter stages. Now that he's cooled off, though, he had a good time, he says. A couple days removed. Commented positively about all the drivers. The field racing was good. Just hate the way that it ended. But that'll do it for the practice session. We'll get right into qualifying in just a moment here. See who takes to the Speedway first. Robbie Good appears to roll first. Robbie in the number 77. Green flag for Robbie. Again, a 7/8 mile oval. It looks big, but it's technically a short track. They're really getting after it here. First lap's in the book for Robbie Good. 22.575. Matt Sisler goes with the 5.79. We'll stick with the 77 for the time being. Off turn number 4 to finish up his qualifying effort. Picks up about a 10th. Brandon Moore, 6:32 on his first lap. Good enough for P6. Let's see if he can shave another 10th or 2 off. Meanwhile, Chris Cornett goes pole, 22.350. Moore goes from 10th to pole, 22.281 for Brandon Moore, continuing the winning ways if it can hold. Vincent Short with a 22.52. First lap. Cuts the course just a little there. Tries to shorten up that dog leg, and it goes 4th quick, 22.372. I don't know if that's faster to do it that way, but it certainly seemed it. Picked up quite a bit on his second lap. Tom Janikowski in the number 93. Brandon Moore still top time. We got a couple of stream chatters already. Of course, Vincent Short. Snaptash, I think that's what that says. Let's go Ray 85. Zach Millen in there, go Short and Sisler, give him hell. Janikowski 17th fast on his first lap, 22.853 seconds. Moore continues to hang on to the provisional pole. And lap 2, 19th to 16th with the 6:52 on the second lap. Kerwin Marshall now in the 4. Marshall across the line. Big pickup, 22.45, puts him 9th. Austin Walton in the number 9. 9th quick, his first lap, 22.435 for Austin. Oh, just barely off the wall there. I don't think he got a piece of it. Let's hope not. That'll invalidate the lap if he did. Just below the white line there in the middle of the corner. Plug check across start finish. 7th quick, 22.399 for Austin Walton. Chris Pieria is on the racetrack, the number 13. I finally got an education on how to say his name. It doesn't look hard, but I was messing it up. Brandon Moore is still the top time with a 22.281. Just about 6/10 quicker than the second place driver, Jamie Dunning. 22.813, 24th quick for Pieria, first lap. Across the line, Pieria slows down just a touch. Jason Aranchak with the 22.5 on his first lap. He might have spanked the wall just a tick there off of 4. Let's see if it counts. If it doesn't, there it is. Not faster, though. 14th quick for the 84. And with 15 seconds left in the session, looks like everybody has made an attempt here. Jackson West, though, will start last as he did not lock in an official lap of record. So with that qualifying complete, we're going to get into our race session, the Hawkeye 150. Get gridded up here in just a moment. So let's take a look. Our starting grid for tonight's Hawkeye 150 on the pole position with a lap time of 22.281. Last week's winner from Fuel Up Motorsports, it's Brandon Moore. Outside pole, missed it by 64 thousandths of a second. Jamie Dunning. Row number 2, it's Wesley Jeanette and Chris Cornett. Row 3, it'll be Track Bar Motorsports' own Vincent Short and Chris Stange. Row number 4, Austin Walton, and Rance Tatro. Row number 5, Jason Blaney, Daytona winner, Kerwin Marshall in 10th. Blake Hochschild will start in the 11th spot. 12th goes to Raymond Hanneman, who was fast at the end of last week as well. 13th starter will be Jim Treat. Pay attention to the 367. He'll be a contender this evening. Jason Aranchak was 14th. Tommy Polte starts 15th. 16th starter, Matt Sisler. 17th belongs to Benjamin Smith. Robbie Good will roll off from the 18th starting position. Derek Buckaloo, 19th. Johnny D. Pasquale. Fueled Up Motorsports driver will start 20th. 21st, Tom Janikowski. Nathan Lyon will be 22nd. Michael Thorne, 23rd. Don Canwright, 24th. Chris Pieria, 25th. And last but not least, for mid-tier racing, the number 76 of Jackson West will start 26th. It's your starting grid here from Iowa Speedway for the Hawkeye 150. Getting ready to get rolling here in just a minute. We got Yusef Gregory in the chat, says go number 4 prime car. We got Dominic Mills, Marshall take it home. Still waiting for Raymond Hanneman to get to the grid. There he is. Looks like he may start from pit lane. Indeed, he is. Parked in the pit box. Maybe a penalty from last week. There's a bunch of penalties for this week from last week's race. Too many to go over. We'll just leave it alone. So Brandon Moore put it on pole position, but it's kind of all for naught. He's going to go to the back after last week's win. Two laps under the yellow flag before we get rolling here tonight. Again, the race details in case you got here a little bit late. 66-degree ambient temps, 75% humidity, a partly cloudy skies, 17-mile-per-hour breeze. Things picking up here. Track temp continues to drop, 69 degrees Fahrenheit. Race distance tonight, 150 laps, 65% fuel on board. 2 sets of tires available over the wall for pit stops. 0 fast repairs, count them, 0 zip, zillage, and 1 attempt at a green-white checkered finish if so needed. So ZeroX Media in the chat, only 3 EOLs. Brandon Moore into the line, Jackson West, and Austin Walton into the line. Pace truck is in.
Green flag.
Wesley Jeanette will lead them back to start-finish to complete lap number 1. Jamie Dunning, Chris Cornett, Vincent Short, Jason Blaney, the top 5. Oh, trouble already! One car up the racetrack. Oh, and they're still wrecking. Rance Tatro, I believe, was the first one involved there in the number 18. And how quickly the yellow has come out here at Iowa Speedway again. 7/8 mile short track here at Iowa. Wouldn't call it the paperclip at Martinsville, but you're still going to see some crossed up drivers and some bent fenders here tonight. Let's take a look what happened to put us under our first caution of the night. Back this up a little further. It was most definitely some contact between Tatro and the 4. Treat's going to get a piece of that as well. But then some drivers not getting the message. It seems some guys just weren't checking up there. Trying to get a better look at the rest of this here. We'll try to get another angle on it. Trying to get an idea who's in the 14 car. It looks like it's Michael Thorne. I want to watch this here in real time. Outside lane checks up. Thorne just either doesn't see it or figures the faster he gets through, the faster, less likely he's going to be involved, but still made some pretty significant contact. Datro's going to try and fix this the best that he can, or already spent some time in the pits. Indeed, he did. Robbie Good also with quite a bit of damage on his number 77. Pretty heavy damage on that Toyota Camry. You have to spend some time there fixing that. So Wesley Jeanette, the race leader still with Dunning, number 54 Toyota, running in second. Chris Cornett, Vince Short, Jason Blaney, the top 5. Then further down the line, it's Chris Stange, Blake Hochschild, Kerwin Marshall, Jason Aranchak, Matt Sisler, the top 10. ZeroX Media in the chat mentioning about the EOLs to start the race. There's only 3. I was just looking at the announcements, and no fault of Dustin's at all. He's very detailed in all of his incidents, so that was a lot for me to read. But yes, it looks like there's only those 3 that he had mentioned to go into the back. 2 of which for incidents. We'll just recap them. Jackson West, self-spin on pit road last week. Remember, he was exiting pit lane, went to the first gear instead of third gear, and it spun him around, brought the caution out, so he gets a penalty for that yellow. And then Austin Walton cut down across the nose of the 77, caused multi-car incident with the caution. Same penalty in EOL for tonight's race. And then, of course, Brandon Moore going to the back after the win. So let's try this again. Quick caution to start things off. Maybe that got everybody's nerves under control. We'll try this again. Hopefully get a long green flag run in here. Jeanette and Dunning on the front row. Green flag back in the air. Jeanette hammers on the throttle, gets away clean. Great restart for the 74. Short in the 15, looking awful racy, but he's up in the old pavement. Not sure how much grip is up there on the corner exit. There's a bit. You see that fresh pavement widens out there off of turn number 4. It's not as wide on entry to 3. Kind of the same story here in 1 and 2, but gets wider on exit yet again. Short tucks in behind Dunning. Dunning has slipped from the outside front row back to 4th. On board with Vincent Short. Short now takes the 4th position. Dunning going to try a stiff to the bottom here and try to take it away, but not enough momentum to get there. Vincent Short fired out of a cannon. He's going to run up a turn 2, and the caution's going to come out here again. Trouble off turn number 2.
Quickly tell me about your car.
Wesley Jeanette goes around, and everybody scatters and manages to avoid collecting him. I'm losing it. Wesley Jeanette trying to get fired back up here and back underway. Vincent Short was coming with a head of steam. Might have passed them both on the outside on the entry to 3, but didn't get the chance as the caution comes out. Nevertheless, the result the same. Vincent Short up to second. Just dumb luck that no one collected the 74. He did a good job locking it down once he got up in that almost ultra top lane. Everybody scattering left to right. Let's check this one more time. Different angle. Don't know if Wesley got loose or if 22 got into him. Yeah, it looks like Blaney comes up the track. Wesley could have opened up the wheel and gone a little further up, but he's not required to do that. He doesn't have to give that space there. There's plenty of room on the bottom for Blaney. Blaney could also lift a little bit, but nevertheless, they come together, and that's the end result. Some takers on pit lane. Raymond Hanneman has been fast so far all season long. Hanneman might be trying to fix some damage. He's not changing tires, but he's been parked there now for 22 plus seconds. Rance Tatro still trying to get some repairs made from that earlier caution on lap 2. I guess if you're going to have an incident where your car is going to need some repairs, it's always good to have it happen very early on. So every caution after that gives you an opportunity to work on it. So should get the 1 to go signal this time across start finish. As the field spills out on the back straightaway. Got Badger Sports in the chat, says didn't hit anything, held the brakes, collected no one, as successful a spin as you could hope for. I completely agree. I guess the only thing I would have recommended there is jumping on the binders a little sooner than he did. We did see that thing spin the tires backwards for quite a distance. That's not good for the engine. Also might have contributed to him sliding up into traffic, but again, lucky, nobody got into him. He'll live to race another day. Wesley Jeanette, though, going to start all the way back in 20th spot here for this restart. With some hurt pride, but certainly no body panels to be concerned about. Pace truck heads to pit road.
Green flag.
And there we go. Green flag back in the air. Cornette fast in qualifying as well. He was 4th quick, but now he's got to hold off to 15 of Vincent Short. And Short just fires like a cannon around him, but too fast into the outside wall. And Blaney gets into Short, and he goes around.
Talk me through your lap one time real quick.
I can't really give that one to Blaney. Short got in a little hot on the restart. Lost the nose of the race car on the exit at turn number 2. Hits the wall, and Blaney really with nowhere to go at that point. take another look at it. From the blimp. Just washed way up the racetrack. He got into that taller banking with the progressive banking here, but it just wasn't enough to keep the car locked down. I want to watch this from Blaney's point of view here, because Blaney's going to get a big chunk of that also. He's kind of going to get sent down to the inside wall. Significant right front damage from the contact. Let's go to the roof cam here on Blaney at speed, see what kind of reaction time he's really got here. Here's how it looks from his perspective. This is the driver's eye camera right on the helmet. So it looks like Blaney got some repairs made. It's not perfect, but in that short amount of time, they did a pretty good job. 49 seconds in the pits, that last stop. Looks like Blaney will stay on the lead lap, so the night's not over for the 22. While we have a moment to talk about it, here's the upcoming schedule. Of course, Iowa here tonight. Next Tuesday on the 2nd of December, we go to Chicagoland. Pocono after that. I always like that place. I don't know what it is about it. I just enjoy it. It's just kind of a throwback. It's very unique in its design. The Kansas Speedway should be a great race for these cars. All-Star race in Charlotte just before Christmas. Then Phoenix Raceway just before the new year. Then first race of the new year will be at Homestead Miami Speedway, then Indianapolis, Texas Motor Speedway, Dover, Michigan, Old Atlanta. Can't wait for that. Last night was a great race. 2 nights ago was a great race in the PSRA ARCA Series. Then Talladega, Watkins Glen, which will be tape delayed, Darlington Raceway, Charlotte Motor Speedway, Gateway, and then close out the season at Nashville. Pace truck heads to pit road.
Green flag, green flag.
Another good restart. Chris Cornett out in front, puts a couple of tenths on the field, headed into turn number 1. Chris Stange already trying to reel him in.
Turn number 4.
Caution. How about water pressure, temperature right there?
Not off to a great start here tonight, boys. Settle down. Gather your thoughts. 4th caution already, 21 laps in. Now, personally, I do not have any laps at this recent scan of Iowa. I love the racetrack. I'm also a big fan of Richmond, but especially in these next-gen Cup cars, which I don't like driving personally, but that's just me. I don't know how sensitive they are. If Zach Millett is still in the chat by chance, I'm sure he's aware. Millett working with the Conti boys. I'm sure he's got laps in this car at Iowa, but if Zach, if you want to jump in and tell us your thoughts on how easy is it to spin these things out? Because right now it seems like it's not too difficult to do. So we'll take a look at it. This is off turn number 4. This is Benjamin Smith. Looks like the 9 gets into the 14, and chain reaction sends Smith up the racetrack hard into the outside wall. Then Austin Walton goes up, chases him. He hits the wall and start collecting other drivers in the meantime. Looks like that was the 38 and 8th in line. Vincent Short, he gets a chunk as well. Rance Tatro locks him up enough, doesn't hit anything. So Millet in the chat fills us in. He says they're very easy to spin. But Robbie Good in the chat, texting and driving, that's a no-no, sir. He says, cars aren't too bad here. Everyone's too excited. Well, that could be the case, too. Maybe a column A, column B situation. Or just law of averages. The first 2 races this season have been amazing. Guys have done a great job. First short track of the season, that's sometimes a contributing factor as well. I gotta be honest though, this is not the racetrack, not the short track that is, that I expected to cause the issues that we're starting to see. It's small enough to be a short track, but big enough for the typical short track problems to not always be a concern. It's not like we're running Martinsville or even Bristol. Bristol's its own animal in itself. But 24 laps in, 4 cautions thus far. I think we'll get it figured out eventually. Robbie Good filled me in. He says, texting yes, driving no. Yeah, I was trying to be optimistic, Robbie. Robbie Good shown in the 26th spot, officially out of this race. Well, let's try it again. Front row will be Chris Cornett, Chris Stange. Row 2, Jamie Dunning, Blake Hochschild. Row 3, Matt Sisler, Jason Oranchak. Sisler working his way forward. Started 16th, up into the top 5 for the first time tonight. Robbie Good cheering on teammate Jamie Dunning, holding it down. Keystone Motorsports. Gonna be 125 laps to go when we cross start finish. Pace truck is in.
Green flag.
Continues to lead. Battle for the second position is on. Stange and Dunning side by side off of turn number 2. Looks like Stange will clear it for the time being, but no, back into turn number 3. Dunning drives it deep into the corner. Side by side, almost contact in the middle of 3 and 4. Stange gets away, but that's going to open up the door for Sisler looking for the 3rd spot. Matt Sisler snuck in there. In the pack here, the 10th position, Jackson West. Jackson West qualified 26th here tonight into the top 5. Sorry, top 10 that is. At least he was. Slides up the racetrack a bit, loses the spot to Derek Buckaloo. Might lose another one here in a moment. Vincent Short trying to work his way back through this field. He's got the majority of the damage fixed on that number 15. Wesley Jeanette in tow in the 17th position. We know Wesley's got a fast car. Want to check on Brandon Moore. Remember, qualified on pole here tonight. Had to go to the back. That race start. Just trying to cut his way through this field. Trying to go 2 in a row. It'd be a tall task to go from worst to first. Looks good out there. Give a call to Jason Blaney here. Not giving up. Got that damage repaired for the most part. He's making the charge here back to the front of the field. It's going to take a spot from Raymond Hanneman, but don't let that surprise you. Hanneman's one of those crafty veterans out there. He's going to take care of that race car until the very bitter end. He'll fire off when it's time. He's not going to worry about it now. You can't win this race here on lap 34. Let's ride on board with Blaney. Oh, Blaney's shifting, which I guess doesn't surprise me too much with these next-gen cars. I'm so used to calling the 4-speed races. Now, if we get a long enough green flag run here, you might see these guys stop shifting, just because the lap times may come down. Again, Zach Millett may be able to comment on that as well. As the lap times fall off, significant or not. Just like that, looks like Blaney's already just using 4th gear. No more shifting for the 22. Now to the top 5, Blake Hochschild running in 5th. Just ahead of Kerwin Marshall. Relatively clear sailing out in front of Hochschild, though. It's a few bus lengths up to Jamie Dunning in 4th. Dunning there, a couple car lengths off the back bumper of Matt Sisler. But Chris Cornett starting to check out here, almost a full second as he works out of turn number 4 over Chris Stange. Field pretty well strung out now. 40 laps in here from Iowa Speedway. Finally, a green flag stretch here. Cornett comfortable out in front. About 8/10 ahead of Chris Stange. Last lap for Stange, though, just a touch faster than the race leader. We'll see if that stays the same. No, this time Cornett takes it back, but only by 100th of a second. Kerwin Marshall up the racetrack in the fence. He's going to lose some ground here. Everybody needs to scatter, give him some room here. Now back into turn 1. I'll see if he can get it to stick. Washed up the racetrack off turn 4 and got into the fence. Now running in behind Jason Aranchak in the 84. Derek Buckaloo in the 81. Ranchak goes up the racetrack. Now they're 3 wide off turn 4. Even with that mistake, Marshall is able to gather it back up, stay ahead of this trio behind him. Buckaloo, Ranchak, and looks like Jason Blaney in the 22. Continue to watch this battle. Chris Stange is slowly but surely starting to reel in the leader in side-by-side action off of turn 4. Ranchak banging doors with Buckaloo. May have damaged the 84. Cost him some ground. He washed up the track in turns 1 and 2. Ranchak slips back to 13th. Raymond Hanneman, Jim Treat side by side. This is the battle for 10th. Jason Blaney now to the inside of Derek Buckaloo for the 8th position. Can he get it done? These guys have been fighting it out here for the last handful of laps. Barely, but gets clear off turn 2. This will move Jason Blaney to P8. Now, if he stops battling with Buckaloo, he might be able to set up a charge here and reel in Kerwin Marshall for 7th. Conversation back up in the race lead, though. Cornette put some more distance on Stange. I don't know if he was just trying to cool the tires off or save a little bit of fuel, but realized the 72 was closing and picked up the pace yet again. Meanwhile, Blaney drops to the inside on Marshall. Jason Blaney's got the position. So all 4 corners not perfect on the 22 of Blaney, but seems to be okay, but he's really loose off of turn number 2, locks it down, scrapes the inside wall, does not bring out a caution. I don't think he had help. That was all on him. So Blaney was cutting his way through the field. He was looking good there for a few minutes, but it all goes away with an issue off turn number 2. Was lucky to not hit the wall harder than he did. One-third distance here at Iowa. Things getting exciting for Jason Blaney. Brandon Moore going to try and take advantage here. He's to the inside of the 22 off turn 2. A lot of guys still bouncing off the wall on corner exit. Chris Pieria underneath the 76 at start finish. See if he can get this pass done. Pieria's got it complete, clear of the 76 of Jackson West. And still continuing to fight. Vincent Short fighting with Nathan Line, the number 38 on the bottom of the racetrack. Short up the racetrack, getting into that old pavement. Again, on exit, you see where it gets darker. That's the new pavement that they've laid down. Still a big question why the Speedway didn't go ahead and repave the whole facility instead of just sections of the corners. Heard a lot of the drivers talk about that when the Cup Series ran here last season. Short starting to fall back now to 19th. And before you know it, we're going to have a battle for the race lead as Cornette starting to see Stange in his mirror a lot clearer than he did just a handful of laps ago. It's down a quarter second back to the 72. This is the battle for the race lead, 56 laps in. I don't know. I got to wonder if Cornette's just kind of playing with Stange or if he's just taking care of his stuff, because it seems like every time the 72 runs him down, whether it's from 0.8 to half a second, from half a second to 0.2, Cornette grabs another gear and starts to pull back away. Could also be attributed to some of that dirty air. I know we are still on a short track, but these guys are moving pretty good. They're well over 150 miles an hour when they cross start finish, so aerodynamics absolutely playing a part. Or in Stange's situation, lack thereof. So Chris Cornette comfortable with his lead for the time being. Matt Sisler back in the third position. Jamie Dunning still fourth. Blake Hochschild still hanging tough in the fifth position, but he may have his hands full soon as well. Johnny DePasquale in the one, starting to run him down, wants his shot at the top five. Badger Sports in the chat again says, I'm expecting Blaney and Moore to both be in the mix at the end. Stange starting to catch up. They're definitely created space to third. I don't know, I think Cornette's not showing his full hand right now, I'll be very honest, because all of a sudden he's stretched it back out to 0.7. Quite a bit of cloud cover here at Iowa. You got to wonder if they're going to flick these Musco lights on soon. Battle is on for fifth. DePasquale trying to take it away and very easily does so. Blake Hochschild now back to sixth. Brandon Moore cracking the top 10 for the first time tonight. I think the thing with Brandon Moore, knowing he had to start in the back, he was just going to keep pace with the field for a little while, let everybody else wear those tires out. And about halfway through that tire run, he was going to go. Here he is in 10th. Again, qualified pole position. Had to go to the back. Trying to make it two in a row here. Moore taking a look. More for track position than anything. That's Austin Walton. He's 24th. Moore now in behind 3-6-7. Jim Treat. That is a position. Treat up the racetrack. Moore is going to try and put the pedal down. Couldn't get it all the way down, but it still remains side by side as they roll down into turn number one. Moore door to door with Treat. Put some power down now. Still not quite clear. No, good run for the 367 down the back straightaway. Treat carried that momentum. Used it to defend, but I think it's going to be over now. Brandon Moore now to 9th. Badger Sports, I'm not even going to read it on the air. Don't jinx it. I'll just say it starts with, and most importantly, if you want to know what he said, take a look at the stream chat. Maybe some pit stops underway under green flag conditions here at Iowa. Jason Blaney, Derek Buckaloo, Tom Janikowski, Vincent Short. Janikowski, though, he had some pretty significant damage. I don't know from what. Had the meatball flag when he pulled into the box. He's going to put tires on anyway. Might be a quick stop nonetheless, all things considered, but no, he's going to sit there and try to get some more damage repaired. Blaney sits, 11, 12, 13, 14. He'll drop the jack and head back out. Jason Aranchak now will come to pit lane. So just a handful of laps shy of halfway here at Iowa Speedway. First round of green flag pit stops. I never thought I'd hear it. Told you they'd get it under control. Chris Stange from the second spot. He'll slide to a stop in his pit box. Right side tires going on the number 72 machine. Going to be Sunoco race fuel. And 4 new Goodyear Racing Eagles underneath Chris Stange's machine. Stange will head back out. When do we see Chris Cornett pit from the race lead? With Johnny DePasquale up to the second spot, albeit 4.7 seconds in the rears. Cornett trying to stretch the fuel as far as it'll let him. And he stays out again. Carwood Marshall, Jamie Dunning both in the pits. And Cornett has yet to come to pit lane here tonight. And we are just past halfway. Everybody's thinking, oh, well, if he pits now, he's good to go to the end. Well, we had 4 yellows. So that's going to extend that fuel window by quite a bit. He can do it on one stop if we get a couple more cautions. But I don't know if he's going to be able to make it all the way to the end on this final stop. I don't know what the actual fuel window is lap-wise. I don't know if Robbie Good's still here in the chat. If he knew what the fuel window was as far as the lap count was concerned, let us know. But it does seem like Cornett's trying to run this as far as possible. Now, going back to the tire fall-off conversation, Cornett's last lap was 24 flat. His best lap was a 22.5. So there's a considerable amount of fall-off there. Matt Sisler, though, a 24.64. He's 2 seconds off his best lap. Waiting for the 88 to peel off, cover these stops, and we'll take our break. Tire smoke up ahead. Looks like the 84 in trouble. I think Cornett's just going to run this as far as it'll let him. He's got a big advantage over Matt Sisler. And really, this will work out for him, too. I don't know if he's trying to stretch this to the very end of the fuel window. Maybe he can do this on one stop, all things considered. But the other aspect is we had 2 sets of tires to start this race. He's got them both sitting there over the wall. If he does decide to come down, obviously he's going to put that first set on. But if he's the last driver to come down and pit under this green flag run, he'll have the freshest tires out there as the 76 goes around with the leader to the inside. And the caution comes out.
Quickly, tell me what you got.
Jackson West in trouble. Loses it on his own while the top 8 drivers were on a lap of their own, still needing to pit. Looks like Jim Treat is going to be the lucky winner here because he was on the pit lane at the time of the caution. So I'm pretty sure he'll be able to get a free stop out of this. Dustin helped me out in the chat, says 70 laps the fuel window, so this would be a one-stopper for Cornette either way if we go green to the end. But Jim Treat might be the luckiest guy out there, able to be on pit lane when the yellow comes out, so he gets that free stop as long as he didn't get lapped in the meantime, and it looks like he may have. Don't know how that'll pan out for him, but we'll see. Either way, he doesn't need to worry about making another pit stop. So this puts everybody within range of the checkered flag, barring a green-white checkered finish, which is always a potential. Here come the rest of the leaders. Chris Cornette, Raymond Hanneman, Brandon Moore up to the 3rd spot. Chris Pieria, 4th. Tom Polte, 5th. 8th in line, Wesley Jeanette, the top 7. The only drivers listed on the lead lap, at least right now. We'll see what kind of wave arounds we get when we get ready for the one to go. Without a doubt, 4 tires in fuel for Chris Cornette. Brandon Moore, at least for the time being, shown as the race leader. And that'll change as Cornette beats him out of pit lane. So that moves Treat down to 15th. Looks like that's the lucky dog position for now. It's always tough when the yellow comes out in the middle of the pit cycle because it's kind of tough to get timing and scoring right. Luckily for iRacing, it's all done with the good old artificial intelligence. Treat back on pit lane, though. Maybe he didn't get into the pits on time. This could be a penalty for Jim Treat. Nope, gonna throw some tires on it. I didn't notice he might have just put fuel in it on that pit stop when the caution had come out, so now is the opportunity to put the tires on. So Treat's going to go back out without losing any ground, at least as far as listed position is concerned. Now Brandon Moore comes down to pit again. This is interesting. This might be a top-off. Not a bad move with limited drivers on the lead lap. Worst he would be here is 12th, it looks like. Oh, he's got some right front damage. We didn't see where that came from. And Moore's going to put more tires on. That's interesting. I thought he had already put the tires on, but maybe not. Well, now I'm all kinds of confused.
Green flag.
And the green comes out. Moore is just leaving pit lane. Cornette out in front, Hanneman second. Pieria third, Jeanette, Polte the top five. Battle for third, Wesley Jeanette. Taking it away from Chris Pieria. Remember, Jeanette was involved in a caution incident earlier on in the race, but has battled his way back to right where he started this thing. Might see a battle here between Cornette and Hanneman. We know Hanneman's got the pace. "90 laps up on the board. We're going to get our side-by-side break out of the way. Stay with us. You won't miss a thing. We'll be back after this.
Spartan Transportation and Spartan Logistic Management is your one source for all your shipping needs. 53-foot dry van shipments, auto transport shipments, full-service in-house brokerage, drop lot facilities, just-in-time deliveries to all auto manufacturers, facilities in St. Louis, Missouri, Kansas City, Missouri, and Indianapolis, Indiana. Spartan Logistics LLC, proud sponsor of the IROC Series, Kyle Steffens UMP Modified and Silver Crown Driver, and Gordy Gundaker, World of Outlaws late model. Visit us at spartan-logistics.net or find us on Facebook.
Need insurance coverage that's built for speed? Frank Yea's office in South Charleston has your back. Whether you're blazing down the highway, protecting the home you've built, or setting up a legacy for your family, we've got the coverage you need. Auto, home, life, fast, simple, and made for you. Scan the QR code on your screen now to explore all our services and start a free quote today. Lock it in, save it for later, or call us at 304-744-7700 to get started.
Back at Iowa Speedway with a new leader, Raymond Hanneman on top of the board. Cornette back to P2. We're going to see if we can find that pass for the top spot as soon as we can. And here it is, about 8 laps ago. Back things up a little bit and watch the setup here. Cornette washed up the racetrack a little bit. Soft turn 4, come to start finish. Hanneman dropped to the inside. Stayed there through 1 and 2. Cornette tried to pinch the 86 down the best that he could. It kind of helped that situation a bit, but never got clear again. Then back into 3 and 4, Hanneman took over the race lead. So 49 to go here from Iowa. Hanneman out in front by 0.6 of a second over Chris Cornette. Wesley Jeanette back to P3. Top 2 really running away from everybody else. 2.5 seconds back is the third place number 74 of Jeanette. Tommy Polte in the 4th position, not too far behind. Chris Pieria in 5th. Thirteen cars still on the lead lap. 14th is Jim Treat, who unfortunately in that caution, we thought he was going to be in a great position, got trapped a lap down. He's the first car 1 lap down. He would love to see a caution right now. But further down the line in 6th, it's Nathan Line. Chris Stange, who was fast early on, running in the 7th position. And Jason Blaney scrapes the wall off turn 4. He runs an 8th. Matt Sisler, who's been a part of the top 5 the majority of the evening, running back in the 9th position. Still better than where he started. Johnny DePasquale, 20th place qualifying effort. He runs 10th in the number 1. Jamie Dunning in the 54. Shown 11th. And Brandon Moore in the 3 machine. He's 12th. And the way it stands right now, everybody should be good to go to the end on fuel. And last car in the lead lap, it's the 4 Amazon Prime machine of Kerwin Marshall. Vincent Short having a moment. Straightens it back out. Wesley Jeanette still running in 3rd. Not a lot of traffic behind or out in front. At this point, 74 just needing to race the racetrack. Tom Polte, the next closest driver to contend for that position. Chris Pieria there in 5th. Jim Treat's not going to wait for the caution. He's trying to work his way through here. He's the 6th car in line as far as leaders back to P5, 6th place. Treat's obviously a lap down. He's going to try and march his way to the front, take it back the old-fashioned way, but I just don't know if there's enough time for him to, if he was faster than everybody, if there's enough time for him to get all the way back around and contend. Really would need that caution. And Chris Stange is going to come to pit lane. So is Don Canwright. Very well could just be a matter of comfort for these drivers. Jamie Dunning still in 10th. Moore is 11th and starting to try and close in. A few car lengths off the back bumper of the 54. 12 cars on the lead lap here at Iowa. Just got to wonder with Brandon Moore here, if he's got some damage on that right front, how much is that really affecting the pace of that race car, the drivability of that race car as he scrapes the wall off turn 2. We talked about how at this racetrack, even though it is a short track, how aerodynamics do come into play. It is fast enough for that to be an issue. Matt Sisler trying to follow the 22 of Blaney on through. Blaney 7th, Sisler 8th. Another long green flag run here at Iowa Speedway. We started off with some chaos, get this thing underway with 4 of our yellows in the first 21 laps, but we've already had one full, almost full green flag run. I think the top 7 or 8 managed to stay out prior to the yellow coming out. Everybody else had made their green flag stops. That's why we've got so many drivers a lap down. They all got trapped. Brandon Moore into the top 10 now. Johnny DePasquale trying to hang on to 9th, but for how long? Johnny DePasquale, very smooth getting back to the gas. Just listen. Very gentle on, a little abrupt coming off. Take another listen. Now, why would you be abrupt getting off the throttle? That might be the question that some of you may have, and the real reason for it is much like if you're hitting the brakes, as Brandon Moore goes to the inside here on the 1. You transfer all the weight of the race car to the nose, so it makes the rear end a little bit light. You abruptly get off the throttle, it'll help the car rotate a little bit. Some guys might even drag a little bit of brake into the corner to help put some weight on that right front tire to help it stick to the track better. But you don't want to be abrupt on throttle because it can snap the rear of the car loose. Even though it's loaded up, you're applying power to those rear wheels. Now, if you got a real tight on exit situation, sometimes that can help that scenario. But more often than not, smooth is fast. Closing in on 25 to go. Hanneman's still out in front. We may end up with a third different winner of the season and in just our third race. Let's not take those hats to victory lane just yet, though. We got plenty of racing still to go. I do find it interesting that some drivers were opting for pit lane. Might be a gamble. We've said it so often in the past, if you follow the leader, you're going to follow the leader. So maybe some alternate Hail Mary type strategies at play. Maybe something crazy happens and these guys are out there with their fresh tires. The leaders make a pit stop and they don't have to. You never know. Now we're down to 10 cars on the lead lap. Treat still in the lucky dog position in 11th. Looks like Sandra Nielsen 8010 in the chat says, bring it on, Johnny D. .25 to go here from Iowa Speedway. Raymond Hanneman, Chris Cornett out in front. Cornett's really been the most consistent at the front of the field here tonight, but unfortunately for him, Hanneman just a tick faster. Wesley Jeanette hanging on to P3. Give a big call to Nathan Line, though. Started 22nd. Comfortably in the top 5 right now in that 4th position. Chris Pierre, a really shallow exit at turn 2. He's shaking the car almost like it's out of fuel. Is he going to come to pit lane here? Let's go on board and listen. No, he's got plenty of power. And Jason Blaney's in the pits. Four tires and fuel for Jason Blaney. Very interesting here. Again, we knew these guys could make it on fuel from that last restart. It was going to be tight, but with 22 to go, Blaney opts to come to pit road. Right sides only for the 22. This might be a strategy gamble for Blaney. He's had a rough night. Obviously some damage on that race car. He's had a couple of problems out there, but hasn't given up, and he's been a contender all night long, but now he's shown in the 15th spot, a lap down. Meanwhile, it looks like Michael Thorne has crashed. Let's see what happened here just a moment ago to the 14 car. By himself. And just gets below the... Was he coming to pit lane? Yeah, he's coming to pit lane and overshot it. Has to take the shortcut. Now 9 cars on the lead lap. Jim Treat still in the lucky dog. Johnny DePasquale in the 9th position. Last car on the lead lap. Not really in danger of going down a lap right now. He's only 13 seconds back from the race lead, just over half a lap. And it looks like Vincent Short's got a meatball flag. He's got some significant damage. Doesn't look terrible. I don't know if he blew a tire. He may be coming to pit lane, or if he's just going to try and stick it out. Nope, here he comes. Washes up the racetrack just a touch. Back out front, Raymond Hanneman still in charge, now putting a full second's advantage on Chris Cornett. Jason Blaney almost a lap and 3/4 down right now, but he's out there with fresher tires. I don't know if he's going to have the time to make it up. He just ran a 22.80 compared to his best lap of the day was a 22.60. Oh, and there's trouble. Blaney and the 84. Hard impact for the 84. And still no caution. Jason Aranchak parked there, just the entry to turn 1, but well off the racetrack. Does not bring out a caution. Looks Looks like a very similar circumstance between Vincent Short and Jason Blaney. We're seeing the same here with the Ranchak. Jason got loose off of 4 and nowhere for Blaney to go. My question now is, does Blaney have additional damage to the nose of that number 22? Next-gen cars are pretty durable, but everything has a limit. Looks okay. Dustin in the chat again says, I would guess a blown tire. They do not hold up that long. That's why we're seeing some drivers pit. It'll be interesting to see who of the leaders pit and who risks it. Well, we know Cornette can go a full run. We saw him pretty much do it before the caution came out, putting all these drivers a lap down. He was able to take care of his stuff. And we talked about it earlier on in the race. I think Badger Sports even commented on it. It says, well, it is a strategy series, so that could be part of the strategy. Take care of the tire. You can manage to keep that race lead, manage the track position, manage the tire to go all the way to the end. You can run a full load of fuel. Really, the more the track rubber's in, the less of a concern that will be. Only 10 to go. We'll see who makes it. Rance Tatro with a meatball flag. Possibly a down tire for the number 18 as well. Very slow off turn number 2. So Rance makes it to pit lane. Likely a right front tire down. Back out front, it's still Hanneman, and he has a huge lead over Chris Cornette now. 3.2 seconds in the rears, but going back to what we were just talking about a moment ago, could this be Cornette trying to manage that tire so that it can make it all the way to the end? Gambling a bit, hoping that Hanneman maybe abused his stuff a little bit more than he did. Maybe he can luck himself or strategize himself into a race win here tonight. Six to go. Oh, and Tatro real loose off of turn number 4. Straightens it out. Bottom of the racetrack, up the racetrack, still no yellow. This is like playoff hockey. The refs swallow the whistle. Barney swallows the flag. 5 to go. Not that we want a caution, but it would certainly make things crazier at the end here. Four laps to go. It's still Hanneman, Cornette, Wesley Jeanette, Brandon Moore up into the top 5 and 4th, and Nathan Line in 5th. Further down, Chris Pieria, Matt Sisler 7th. Johnny DiPasquale is 8th. Tim Polte 9th. Chris Stange a lap down in 10th. Battle for position here. Matt Sisler, Johnny DiPasquale. DiPasquale got the spot. Badger Sports says, nah, we want a caution. Yeah, right about now, so we get that green-white checkered in there. Last lap for Raymond Hanneman, 24:32. This time at 24:31. He's backed it way down, but still running very consistent. Chris Cornette, about 4/10 off that pace in second. You see the number getting larger there. The gap from first to second, 5.3 with 2 laps to go. Hanneman off turn 4, white flag in the air. Caution won't hurt us now. Hanneman down the back straightaway, couple more corners to go. Into 3 and 4 for the final time, unchallenged. Nobody out the front. And Raymond Hanneman wins it in Iowa, the Hawkeye 150 in the books. Chris Cornett will finish it out with solid second place. Wesley Jeanette will finish third. Cornett with a post-race bump. Marshall coming in and ruining the celebration. Raymond Hanneman parking it on the ear of corn here at start-finish. We're going to step aside, get our break out of the way. We'll have our top 3 finishers in the broadcast booth after this. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Spartan Transportation and Spartan Logistic Management is your one source for all your shipping needs. 53-foot dry van shipments, auto transport shipments, full-service in-house brokerage, drop lot facilities, just-in-time deliveries to all auto manufacturers, facilities in St. Louis, Missouri, Kansas City, Missouri, and Indianapolis, Indiana. Spartan Logistics LLC, proud sponsor of the IROC Series, Kyle Steffens UMP Modified and Silver Crown Driver, and Gordy Gundaker, World of Outlaws late model. Visit us at spartan-logistics.net or find us on Facebook.
Need insurance coverage that's built for speed? Frank Yea's office in South Charleston has your back. Whether you're blazing down the highway, protecting the home you've built, or setting up a legacy for your family, we've got the coverage you need. Auto, home, life, fast, simple, and made for you. Scan the QR code on your screen now to explore all our services and start a free quote today. Lock it in, save it for later, or call us at 304-744-7700 to get started.
Back at Iowa Speedway, race number 3 in the books. The Hawkeye 150 goes to Raymond Hanneman. Started 12th here tonight, picking up the race win. Had a fast race car. The closer he got to the front of the field, it seemed the faster that it went. Let's see if we get a word with our race winner, Raymond Hanneman. It's Steve with Track Limits. You got us?
Got a copy.
Raymond, congratulations, man. A solid run. Didn't seem like you got to the front really quick, but man, once you got close to the front, seemed like that car just got faster and faster. How bad was how bad was the dirty air here at Iowa, even it being a short track?
I mean, we saw it when I was leading there, and Christopher got out in front of me, and that was my moment. I was like, wow, dirty air is really a bad thing. It's the reason why I hit the wall there, but all in all, like going through the traffic and whatnot, it wasn't too bad. It was more just trying to save tire. Like I was really, in all the practice sessions this week, I wasn't the best, and I really wanted to hone in on the skills and the tire saving and whatnot. Like everybody from Fueled Up tonight were really quick, and they had a really solid line, and I just wanted to implement what they were doing into my strategy. And at the end there, I think when I got to around 14th, 15th position, that's when I really started to lock in, and I understood the track a little better, and it worked out in the end. So.
We did see a lot of guys actually burning off right front tires tonight. A handful of guys having to make a pit stop before this was over, certainly before the fuel tanks ran dry. That final restart coming within the fuel window. How concerned were you about that right front?
Honestly, not too terribly concerned. I think my longest stint at the start of the race, like I didn't take tires until, was it lap 80 and the caution came out or something like that, or like around the 70 mark, and I didn't take tires until then, and I finally, around that time, as my spotter hopped in, and he said my right front was at 43% after all those laps. So I knew I was pretty good on conserving and finding the speed at the same time. So I wasn't too worried near the end there.
Taking care of your stuff, it's half the battle a lot of the time. Speed certainly helps, but you got to be there at the finish. Looking forward now next week, Chicagoland Speedway. Back to some bigger racetracks here, a track that we really haven't been to in quite some time. We're going back there in real life in the Cup Series. So are you excited about Chicagoland next week?
I am. I really like Chicagoland. I think it's a really nice facility that they have there, especially on the iRacing service and whatnot. It's very identical. That turn, middle of turn 3 and 4, that bump's going to throw a wrench for some people for sure. But all in all, I think it's a very good track, and I'm excited to race there.
Certainly looking forward to it. Raymond, congratulations again on the race win here at Iowa Speedway. Who do you want to thank?
Well, I got to thank my girlfriend for watching tonight and supporting on the side like she always does. And it's sucks that she's not here racing, but it's nice that she is here and supporting. I got to thank you guys for putting on an amazing broadcast, all the admins. I got to thank Fueled Up, all the drivers, Wesley, Brandon, Nathan, Christopher, Jason, just to name a few. I mean, everyone, Johnny as well, everyone on that team helps out, all the time to make sure that we're all set and ready to go. So big thanks to them. I got to thank TK, my spotter, for coming in. I know it was last minute, but I appreciate him helping me out where it needed, because sometimes everyone needs that little bit of extra help here and there. So I got to thank the guys over at Eternal. Got to thank the guys over at Triple Stint Racing. I got to thank W. I got to thank all the sponsors that support the car and that Fueled Up has let me use on the car and stuff like that. I got to give a huge shout out to stepdad there who passed away a couple weeks ago, and this one was for him. So.
Sounds like he's done this before. Raymond Hanneman, congrats again. Thanks for talking to us, and good luck in Chicagoland.
Awesome, thanks.
Raymond Hanneman, your race winner here at Iowa Speedway. Next, we're going to talk to Chris Cornett, driver of the number 88 machine. He had a fast race car here tonight, just came up one short. Get a word with the driver of the number 88. Chris, it's Steve with Track Limits. You got me?
Yes, sir.
Chris, congratulations, man. 4th place qualifying run, not too shabby, and a couple of spots better at the finish. P2 here at Iowa Speedway. Looked like you had this thing in the bag, but then all of a sudden Hanneman showed up and kind of put some distance on you there at the end. Was it a right front tire issue on the machine, or were you just trying to save some fuel? What was the real reason there at the end for that big gap?
I was just trying to save. I let him go. I was all right, you go burn your stuff up. I'll see you in about 20-25 laps. And I did catch back up to him. I saw him get loose and hit the wall. So he's got wheel damage, he's slow. Here's my time, so I pushed it, and I just burnt my right front up there at the end. I literally, once we got done with the race, I looked at my tires, I'm at 0% on my right front. So, yeah, just tried to let him go, save some tires, try to catch him there at the end, and just didn't plan out. So, 2 seconds in a row, man, I hate it. It sucks, but hopefully we go get them next week.
Still a solid points night nonetheless. P2 2 weeks in a row. You're going to be there at some point. You keep finishing in the top 5. Put yourself in position. The win will come. I want to go back to that right front tire issue. Obviously, that's going to make the race car awfully tight in the corners, but we talked a little bit to the race winner, Raymond Hanneman, about the clean versus dirty air. How much of a disruption was it when you tucked up to the back bumper of one of these other cars?
Yeah, it played a big factor. When I did catch, did catch Raymond, I was behind him and it got aero tight, especially off of 2. That will slide your right front more than it wants to, because you're not expecting it. You're expecting it to turn, and it just doesn't. So once you get back in the throttle, it's just sliding that right front. And it don't like it. So, man, it sucks. Just wish I was one spot better, but good win to him. Good finish, good there. I was getting worried there at the beginning when all those cautions kept coming out. So, but it did turn out good. Thought we had it in the bag, and well, the P2's better than P3.
Early race jitters, you guys got that stuff out of the way, had a couple of long green flag runs there after. It sets us up for next week, Chicagoland Speedway. How do you prepare for one spot better next week?
Just do a little bit better of saving my right front. Just not pushing it unless it's green white checkered. Then no other way to do it but push it. But hopefully we can get this ZeroX Chevy machine in victory lane next week.
All right, Chris. Well, job well done on P2 here tonight. Anyone else you want to shout out to before we let you go?
Yeah, thanks ZeroX. Thank you putting on this awesome stream. Family, friends watching the streams. Just hope we can go get it next week.
All right, Chris. Thanks for talking to us, man. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Chris Cornett, your runner-up here at Iowa Speedway. Next, we're going to talk driver the number 74, Clark Heating and Cooling driver Wesley Jeanette. Pull Wesley up into the booth. Wesley, it's Steve with Track Limits. You got us?
Yes, sir.
Wesley, congratulations, man. 3rd place start, 3rd place finish. I guess as long as you're not going backwards, that's a good thing. Want to go back to earlier on in the race, though. A very scary moment. You got trouble off turn 2, slid down the backstretch a bit. Nobody hit you. Walk us through what happened there.
Well, I was trying to take it easy on my tires a little bit there, and I felt like people were going a little faster than I wanted to go, so I was letting the one guy around to the outside, I think, and I didn't notice there was somebody else to my inside, so I went to leak down a little bit. Right at the last second, I saw him and kind of locked it up. Kind of a little bit of a panic spin, I think, but yeah, very fortunate. It didn't start very good, but proud to bring it home 3rd.
Well, you got through
after that for sure.
You got through that incident and then drove through the field to get back up to P3. How scary was it trying to cut through this field, knowing that things started off so chaotic?
Yeah, it was pretty spooky. I don't know. There was one spot there toward the middle of the race. We had a pretty good wreck, and I made it through that. That was just a miracle, kind of a close your eyes and hope for the best situation. But got through that, and then just kept working my way up.
Well, job well done. 3rd place, another solid points run for the number 74. Moving into Chicagoland Speedway next week. much bigger racetrack, a little more space to work with these guys. What's the game plan for Chicago?
Yeah, just get some track time leading up and see what we can do. That's been a pretty good track for us in the past, so looking forward to it. Have the highest hopes. So
these race cars tend to put on a pretty good show on these intermediate-sized racetracks, so we certainly look forward to that. Wesley, congrats again, man. Who do you want to thank?
All my guys over at Fueled Up. I've been out of commission for a little while, but they've always kept me involved and kept communicating with me. I appreciate all of them for that, and I'm just happy to be back. Clark Heating and Cooling, Admin Box, and everybody else that supports us. And you guys, thanks for doing a great job in the booth.
Well, thanks for the kind words, Wesley. Good job here tonight. Good luck next week in Chicago.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Wesley Jeanette, third place here at Iowa Speedway. That's going to do it for the interview portion of tonight's broadcast. Let's take a look here at our race results. Of course, we talked to our top three already. Raymond Hanneman, your race winner. Chris Cornett was second. Wesley Jeanette, third. Brandon Moore drove it back. Win last week, fourth tonight. Not too shabby way to start the season. Chris Pieria was fifth. Nathan Line was sixth. Old Johnny DePasquale finished in the seventh spot. Eighth went to Tommy Pulte. Matt Sisler brought it home ninth. Jason Blaney battled all night long for that top 10. Still one lap down, but top 10 I'm sure he'll take at this point. Chris Stange was 11th. Jim Treat got bit by the caution. Still not too bad in 12th. Austin Walton was 13th. Jamie Dunning finishes in the 14th position. 15th went to Kerwin Marshall. Rance Tatro was 16th after a late race right front tire failure. Blake Hochschild was 17th. Vincent Short had his set of issues tonight. He was 18th. Jackson West was 19th. Don Canwright was 20th. Tom Janikowski 21st. Derek Buckaloo 22nd. 23rd went to Jason Aranchak after a late race crash. Michael Thorne 24th. 25th, Benjamin Smith. And last but not least, out of this one on lap number 2, Robbie Good will finish last. 26th, the Hawkeye 150. That'll do it for us here at Iowa Speedway in the ZeroX Strategy Series. Again, next week, we've got on Tuesday the second Chicagoland Speedway. So glad to be going back there, not just in real life, but also in the sim. I do like that place. Quite a fun racetrack, always puts on a good show, and it's starting to wear out. So we'll see how it races next week in these next-gen Cup Series cars. Again, congratulations to Raymond Hanneman. I'm Steve Singer with Track Limits. Thank you guys for watching. Have a good night.